Things I hate about Naruto Storm Connections. Inspired by Cotto in Tokyo. This is just a slight disclaimer that everything I say in this video is not an attempt to spread hate or negativity towards this game. Most of the things on my list are just about my personal online experience. Anyways, let's begin. 1. Rage Quitters. This was obviously going to be on my list. When it comes to online fighting games, rage quitters are universal. There is not a single dimension where rage quitters don't exist. Whatever game you play, there is probably a very infamous player specifically known for being a chronic rage quitting. When it comes to Naruto Storm Connections, it feels as though the dose of rage quitters we get are quadrupled compared to other games. Every ninja and their clans are application closers. I'm sure we've all seen those players that have a 99 win streak but also have that red painful smiley face. Hell, even some players with a 20 game win streak have it. You can't even go at least 5 games against 5 different opponents without experiencing some form of rage quit or strange disconnection. And I hate that. I get that some people rage quit because of poor connections or they feel that the person they are fighting is using a very underhanded tactic, which is okay. I can't attack people who do that. In most cases, players in this game are rage quitting simply because they can't take a loss, and I just don't know why. I feel like this alone is a strong representation about how most players on this game adopt a cowardly, pathetic mindset whilst simultaneously having big ass egos. Some may call this a reach, but hey, at least I've stretched before this. Rage quitting is way too common in this game, and while I do feel that a lot of this can be blamed on players and lack of sportsmanship, not all of it can be pinned on that. Which brings me to the next thing on my list. No punishment for rage quitters. I do not understand how we have gone 14 years and 6 installments of online Naruto Storm games and we still do not have a system that punishes players for rage quitting. It is ridiculous. CyberConnect 2, is there a reason why you refuse to implement a disconnection punishment system in this game specifically? And I say specifically because you guys at least tried something in the Demon Slayer game where you'll get timed out from playing online if you disconnect a certain amount of times. The smiley face feature that was implemented in this game helps to identify these rage quitters, but that is clearly just not good enough. I believe the lack of punishment that players get for rage quitting is a defining factor as to why it's so common on this game. Players are pretty much being enabled to do this because it's essentially a get out of jail free card that you can use infinitely. An argument that some people may have is that if the game implements a feature that punishes you from disconnecting from a match, then a lot of legit players are going to end up being unrightfully punished if a match were to end abruptly due to poor netcode or something. And I do understand that. However, that is not a good enough reason to not have anything to tackle the quitting issue. If CC2 don't want to punish disconnections directly, all they need to do is find a workaround. We need a system that can reduce the chances of players ending up in that position in the first place. In easier terms, I'm talking about a filter system. A filter system that lets you specify what type of player you want to play. And it doesn't need to be too in-depth because I know we've only got 50 players on this game. I personally believe a system that lets you filter players out based on their connection and emoticon level would go a long way with subduing the rage quitting issue in this game. These guys will stop rage quitting if they have nobody to play against, or at least reduce the amount of rage quitting they do if they get punished with long waiting times in their matches. This is what the Naruto Storm society would look like if we could filter out the red and orange emoticons, and I'm being fully serious right here. Now of course this wouldn't fully eradicate the issue of rage quitting, but it would definitely help. Just some sort of effort would go a long way with this. Now, another thing I hate is substitution inconsistencies or subbing into place. We're moving on to gameplay now. We've all had situations where we're low on health, fighting for our life and aggressively tapping the sub button, yet somehow we die to a random fireball jutsu by Rin Sasuke from across the damn map. We've all had situations where we successfully substitute an attack but still end up getting hit because you spawn into the exact same position and end up dying to a second attack. Yeah, I hate that a lot. and it's been happening to me especially within the latest patch of the game. A lot of jutsu that have projectiles or multiple hits have the ability to make you end up subbing in place. And as you would expect from our amazing community, a lot of players like to exploit this specific thing in the game. To be honest, I don't really know why the substitution is like this. I really don't remember it being this bad in Storm 4, but yeah, I hate that a lot. Number 4, picking your opponent off the ground with a kunai. I am not sure who came up with this idea in the CC2 Games mechanism meeting. I don't think the idea of picking your opponent up from the ground is bad. However, the way they've executed it is very poor. My issue with being able to pick up your downed opponent up with a kunai is that it invites mindless, aggressive playstyles. Not to mention that if you are holding the block button while you are downed, it doesn't transfer to when you're picked up with a kunai, so you're pretty much vulnerable for a split second, which is enough time for your opponent to land a hit on you or at least lock you in with some bullshit. In my opinion, I just don't think it's a good thing to have, especially in a game where almost every attack can keep you pinned down in some shape or form. I get the aim was to make this game infinitely more aggressive compared to its predecessors, but it would be nice to have some sort of breathing space. Staying down was always a way to buy a bit of time to recollect yourself, but now in Naruto Storm Connections, that part of the game has pretty much been eliminated and I hate that. Number 5, Tayuya players. If you play Tayuya, f*** you. That is all. And finally, the last thing on my list is that there is no replay system. I really feel that the lack of replay system or photo mode has hurt this game in various ways for various reasons. A replay mode where you could just adjust the camera angles whilst playing back a match would help so much with players who are curious about certain interactions or are just trying to learn and improve their overall game. For me personally, it would really help with creating cinematic scenarios as a creator, and I hate the fact that this has not been put in the game because it just limits you as a player and as a creative. I get that they might not want to have a replay system just because of how the combos and cutscenes work in this game, but nobody really cares about that. Thankfully, modders have created a free camera you can use on PC, but it would be awesome to have something like this for the console version. I would love to see me penetrate my opponent from different angles, in different ways, different positions. Okay, let me stop. And with that being said, that is my list of things I hate about Naruto Storm Connections. I know this list is short and there are definitely a lot more things I could say about this game, but I sort of wanted to keep this video short and unique using my personal experiences of the game. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like if you did, and feel free to comment down what you don't like about this game. Hey, maybe I'll do a community version of this video. For now, I shall ride off into the sunset with my hatred.